Living in Bali has a lot of extremes. You can go from extremely cheap to extremely wealthy, and I'm going to try and give you a bit of an appraisal of what it's like at each level, I guess, of the financial belt, because you hear people say, oh, it's only this or it only costs that. Well, I'm going to try and show you what it can be like. Now, I live in a village, and it's literally just off the main street in downtown Denpasar, so it's not like out in the middle of the hills or up the mountain or something. It's in the biggest city in Bali. And to actually get to be able to move here and to live here permanently, you actually need to go to the local council, the Banjar, and ask for permission to get registered for where you're staying. Now, it wasn't a huge thing, but certainly to have to ask permission to move into a suburb or a city or something is something that you wouldn't really expect to have to do in the West. Now, there'd have to be probably at least 1,000 houses in our village, and the village is run by this local Banjar office, by the local council, I guess you'd say. It's elected.
Mini gas station.
Hey, check out, we've got our own gas station in our village. These villages, you'll see these little tiny convenience stores everywhere. They'll sell a few vegetables, they'll sell a bit of petrol. There's beauty salons. There's people selling drinks and snacks. And overall, it's pretty peaceful and nowhere near as flustered as in the more, I don't want to say built up areas, because to be honest, the vast majority of Bali, or of Balinese, live in a village. In fact, if you get a villa somewhere, it's likely to also be essentially in a little village. So this is the sort of thing you're going to expect to live in. My mate Alan from Amandesa, he lives in a village in Sanura, and he's got very similar people straight across the road from him, selling all sorts of things. He's got tailors and warung. Warung is just another name for a cafe or a restaurant. But I'll give you a bit of an idea about village life and about the costs. Village life starts early here in Bali because it's bloody hot during the day. You want to get everything in and done, or you're cooking and everything before it gets too warm. So, here we go, we'll check out what they're doing here. So, they get up early and they make their breakfast. There you go, pack it up. Hello. Hello. And there's brekkie done for the family. A nice easy way to do it. So it's a Sunday morning, but on a school day the mums might come down, do up a little packet of rice like that for their kids to take to school for breakfast, or to have before they go to school. And all different types of food out here, all freshly made first thing this morning. And those meals are probably only worth around $1. Some of them 50 cents, depends on what it is. Nice and cheap. Usually a rice-based food. Okay. There's the chicken lady. Cutting up the cherry. Some flowers over there. But the centre of every village is the market, and this is the hive of activity every single morning. Almost everyone in the village comes down here. Everyone gets to know your business, and I tell you what, they were all surprised to see a big white fella move in because there's only one other white guy living in our village, and he's been here for about 10 or so years, and he's much older gentleman. Morning, Puggy.
Botak. Honey, someone look like you, only on the hair, no hair. Buka dong topinya, biar masuk dong.
Puggy.
Buka topinya dong, biar kelihatan.
Oh, same. Astaga. So you can buy shoes, clothing, some toys, and then a small but very functional little market where you can buy all sorts of meats, fish, all handmade treats and delicacies. Pagi.
Good morning, sir.
Selamat pagi.
This is Fitri, who always helping us to prepare for sembako about the vegetable, yeah.
Yeah.
The packing vegetable.
So often when we do our little donation rounds, we come down here usually at least a day before and say, okay, we want 50 bags of mixed vegetables, and like the ladies are absolutely lovely. They give us an incredible price. They actually go shopping to get things that are within budget, and we end up with a huge big several kilos of veggies for about $1. They're supporting us because they know that we're supporting them.
The fish and like this one calamari is
There we go.
fresh because look at the eyes,
Freshly
still
caught
round,
calamari.
yeah, still very fresh.
And because it's first thing in the morning, there's no smell, and everything's all nicely prepared and laid out. It's pretty cool.
This is where we buying the rice and the oil.
Halo.
Bagaimana kabar? Pak, aku minta dong airnya. Pak, aku minta air itu.
The coconut water.
Yes, for the throat not sore. Yang bening, Pak.
Yang bening mana ya?
Nih.
Oke.
Ya, kasih Pak.
Sama-sama.
So, hun, just help me here with help me here with an idea of some pricing. What sort of price are you going to pay for some satay? So the average breakfast.
Satay for 8 pieces is around $1.
Yeah.
If you wanna put the long rice, is extra like 30 cents. And then about the fruit is around $1 until $4 for 1 kilo, depend on the fruit. And then like a snack like that, the cookies, tahu tempe is less than $1, like a 50 cents.
So we're talking roughly in Australian dollars, but it just gives you an idea. You can come down here with a couple of dollars in your pocket, and you can easily feed a family.
Ya, tunggu Bo, biar kasih lihat Bo. And now I'm wanna buying the satay. This is $1 money. They gonna choose for me because I doesn't like the fat. They gonna select for me only meat. Ya nggak apa-apa udah. Oh sama. Enggak. Udah. No, udah. Like that. All meat is $1.
And then what's in those little bags there?
That is like rice, the long rice. Yeah. It's a rice inside, but put on the leaf. You wanna try? No? Kasih ya Mbok, udah bayar ya.
Imagine going to all that work of actually weaving that little bit of grass for the leaves.
You need to know. Look at this. All the people here. This is Balinese. She is Balinese. She like saying grateful, thank you for everything you giving today, something like that. And then see the food is finished, and this is for usually they making a snack like this, all kind of cake or cookies like that for praying. What you call? It's like a giving to God.
As an offering.
Yeah. Masih ada kemarin. Over there is a food.
All sorts of little snacks. Underwear, bras.
Yes, yes.
There we go. And there's also a couple of convenience stores inside the market as well.
This is creeping market, like the food.
And how much is it?
One gas bottle is $2.
And now there's no such thing as expiration dates on these gas bottles, and you just drop one off. It's a swap and go thing, and they're all about how you're going. But
She is Titin, the owner of the shop.
now, how much for a cup of coffee? How much for one of these in a coffee?
Coffee.
They do lots of these shampoos and conditioners. Here we go.
This is milk, yeah. Milk.
Okay, so you got
like,
milk coffee there.
and the sachet.
Bit of a cappuccino happening.
Yeah, it's around $2 for 10 pieces.
So 20 cents a coffee. Here we go. Look at these ones here. This one.
Yeah, this
So
is
that's
only.
it's already got
50
sugar in it.
cents.
50 cents for 10.
Yeah, for 12.
Oh, for 12. So it's less than 5 cents a coffee. And so many of their things are done in these little satchels, and I think that's because they have rodents around here. They don't necessarily have indoor storage like kitchen cupboards and pantries and stuff, and it's a lot easier and a lot safer having individually wrapped stuff because it's easier to keep dry and clean. There's lots and lots and lots of rice, and these 2-minute noodles everywhere.
The kind of flour.
Almost anything you can imagine, and there's lots of different flours as well.
Flowers. Seasoning.
Seasonings, noodles.
And then what is it? Jelly. Jelly, margarine.
Hey, that's how they buy butter or margarine.
This one,
And
cheese.
you would think in a really stinky hot climate you'd never be able to have chocolate. Well, the chocolate they make over here doesn't
Melting.
deteriorate, doesn't melt. So it must have a high fat content or something. I don't know how they do it or what magic they put into it. But here, if you want to buy some dishwashing or some hair shampoo or stuff, it also comes in like single serve units. So
That is something.
yeah. Even your oil comes in bags like that.
All can drink, milk.
Hey, so at home, if you want to buy a can of Coke in a shop, it's going to cost you probably about $5. Over here, you can get a can of Coke for 50 cents. So, look, if you live in a village, or if you live not far from a village market, you can come down here in the morning. These are all shut down by about 9 o'clock. So you can come down, you can grab a nice dinner, a nice brekkie. They tend to have things like satays and noodles and fried rice and stuff for breakfast. And then they often won't eat until the afternoon, or Mum will go home, she'll cook up a bit of a feed for her own family, and then as Dad wakes up and goes to work and school, and kids wake up to go to school, they'll have a bit of food and take off. They might eat during the day. They don't tend to have a big meal at night time. A lot of people say it's very healthy not to eat it and then go to sleep on a big tummy. Well, maybe that's why I've got a big tummy. But you see how they buy their rice? Big bags. And rice is about $1 a kilo. So a big 5 kilo bag of rice is only $5, but you'll get about 50 meals out of one 5 kilo bag of rice. So here's our little 50 cent cokes. you can eat pretty cheap over here, and it's a little bit harder to get around without knowing the language, and also without knowing the system. A lot easier for me because Fee's been living here for a long time and everyone knows her. And if you're an outsider, it's going to be a little bit harder for you to get to know people. Lots of different fruit.
This is a snake fruit.
Looks like the skin of it looks like snake skin.
Yeah.
It's quite nice and
Apple, pear, what is the name? Grape,
Grapes.
everything.
Lots of different
Mangosteen. I want to buy
mangosteens.
mangosteen. I
Dragon
love
fruit.
mangosteen.
So, eating in Bali, if you want to go to the markets. Now, people are always worried about Bali belly. I tell you what, most of this food was made either late last night or first thing this morning. I know because my wife has been waking up at 4 o'clock every morning to prepare food for her school cafeteria forever. And these people make it at home, bring it out to the markets and sell it. The markets are pretty clean, and the reason that they do it first thing in the morning, there's no flies, it's not too hot and sweaty, and they're able to keep the food pretty fresh. The village, the costs of living in these villages is incredibly cheap. The house that we were living in before the wedding was about $100 Australian per month to live in. Now for that, you get one room with a bathroom, if you're lucky. Well, when I say a bathroom, I actually just mean it's a small ensuite with a long drop, generally a long drop toilet, and a bucket that you use to shower and to flush your toilet with a hand scoop. Very, very humble, very simple, and very much not to Western desires. No hot water in a kitchen. The kitchens generally are generally outdoor, so you're not heating up the house and filling up with steam and smoke and smells and stuff. A lot of stuff over here is fried, so therefore you get a lot of smoke and it'd get quite horrible inside the house. So they have these little gas cookers, like a little camp stove, and they have that's all outside the house with a bucket that they use to do the dishes, to wash the food.
I want to tell you about the privilege become a woman. Yeah, when you shopping, a big man carry your things and me only carry camera.
So nearly every single village is going to have a hardware store, a convenience store, a hardware store, a telephone store where you can top up your SIM card and maybe get some extra data. Your little gas replenishment store, your gas station with a little hand pump. You often see them on the side of the road with these sort of vodka bottles full of petrol as well. And the next village down the road, they nearly all look identical, and luckily you can buy almost anything you're likely to need right here. So look, there's actually something going on this morning. The council office, it's called a banjar, and it's the heart of the village. If there's a ceremony, if there's any official work, if they're doing anything for the community, if they're doing work or any other official duties, including funerals.
This is the beautiful about Bali. People here work together to clean their village. That is very, very special about Bali.
So I won't disturb them this morning, have a bit of a meeting, but that's what they're up to this morning. We've got an electrician store there, we've got media design and graphic, making posters, little temple in there, beautiful. And some more fried breakfast. I tell you what, These guys aren't as big as me, and they seem to eat a hell of a lot of fried food, but they must have a little bit more active lifestyle. Maybe it's just the bintang that they don't enjoy as well. Lots of these little tiny alleys and lanes. In behind every house is another house. There are lots of these little lanes and alleyways. There'll be a school here. There's
Right there's a school. Here a workshop, but because this is Sunday, they're having a. They closed the shop.
Yep.
And material shop.
Material shop, which we call a hardware store, and this is where you get all the nuts and bolts. They're shutting in today. And here's another one of these little alleyways that just head down to little tiny walking lanes only. Can't get a car down most of them. This isn't a tourist area. Most of the people here don't speak English, and it can be frustrating and uncomfortable trying to communicate with them. But I've got to say, as much as they were uncomfortable, so was I when we first started. But once they sort of got to know me, they got to be pretty friendly, and we have a lot of fun making hand signals and doing all sorts of funny ways of communicating, using Google Images to try to show them what we need to what I'm trying to buy. So if it's a door lock or a hinge or something, I'll use Google and I'll say one of these hinges, and they're going, oh, that's a something. So, but you've got to have a bit of an adventurous spirit to even want to live in Bali. So that's all good.
KFC in the corner.
So yeah, the main road, main highway, is just down there. We're only at one block away from KFC and all the busy hustle and bustle of the city, and in the meanwhile we've got this beautiful little quiet banjo office.
That is a funeral.
This is the sort of central area for burials, for funerals, and they have a big funeral pyre there where they put the body and they literally burn it here in the village, and the residents of the village are expected to come out and pay their respects here to each funeral, and the roads will be shut off so that they can manage traffic and stuff like that as well. So there you go, for $100 a week, sorry, a month, Australian, you could be living in a little bit of ancient Bali paradise. Well, I don't know whether you call it paradise or not. It's a rough environment for mortar and for steel, so it's really hard for it to stay looking pristine.
But having Westerner Australia already lived here 18 years.
Yep, so there you go, we've got another bully, another white guy who's been here for 18 years. He's in his 70s probably now, or late 60s.
But this day I not see him around.
Yeah. Listen, you'll see people riding around the villages all the time with no helmet. The villages aren't patrolled by the regular police, and the rules of the road, where there's less rules, it's all policed by the local banjo. So there's our one of our local schools, and it's quite small and humble, but it's not too bad. Every little lane, every alley, every opportunity. There's a little shop, another motorbike mechanic, tyre guy. Some beautiful little hand carved stonework. Another little shop. So you don't have to walk too far to go to do the shopping, and luckily for that, because some of the elderly over here can't walk much at all. They still get out and about and buy their rice and pick up their veggies and their groceries. Here's the garbage man. This man here goes takes all the plastic bottles and the cardboard and everything else. Selamat pagi. Pretty tough life, but somebody's got to do it. Amongst all these cheap little boarding houses, there's also some really nice villas. Usually good strong gates out the front for security, nice gardens, beautiful temples. So back just not long after Christmas, at the beginning of 2023, we found an abandoned house. And those of you that have been following us for a while will know all about it. But the house was falling apart, the roof was starting to fall in, and we approached the owner and said, would you be willing to let us renovate the house in lieu of some rent? And we negotiated a really, really good price. We locked in a 5-year lease, which we had to pay up front, so often they'll do a long-term lease over here, so that they've got a guarantee of income. And they had, we spent about 3 months with local builders and a little bit of help getting this place looking pretty and functional. It had no electricity, had no water, it had the doors falling off. Now it's a beautiful house to live in, and a house like that would cost somewhere between $5,000 and maybe $8,000 a year, but because it was broken down and just about completely smashed by the time we found it, we didn't get it for that price. We got a bit of a better price. Here's another one here. That needs a bit of work. That's for rent. It's got a shop out the front.
It's like a 1 hour.
Yeah, residents at the back. So there are places where you could live and live a little bit more comfortably than a little 1-bedroom squat place, but they're not likely to have a toilet. Here's some more little boarding houses here.
The boarding house is around $60 for a month.
There you go, $60 a month for these little ones. And they are literally 1 room with a toilet, probably a shared kitchen. There's some more down there.
Same there also.
Now, to put it all into perspective, if you a full-time wage over here can be anywhere from $200 a month in Australian dollars to $350 a month, depending on what sort of job you do. If you can speak English, you get more money because you end up being able to work in hospitality in the bigger cities. But yeah, $10 a day, $8 to $10 a day is not uncommon for a lot of these people. So going out to McDonald's at $10 a meal is not likely going to work all day just to go to get a hamburger, when you can go and pick up some nasi goreng and some chicken kebabs or something for $1.50. But there are, look at these beautiful places here. Come on, Piggy. It's a beautiful house in there.
170. And for two room is around 3,000.
So there you go.
3,000. My money is mean 3 million. Yeah. Your money is $300.
So $300 a month.
Yeah.
For a 2-bedroom. They're quite nice. They're certainly a little bit better than some of the cheaper ones.
That is the expensive one.
No air conditioning, no swimming pool,
Yeah.
no hot and cold running water, and a much more humble surroundings than you're probably used to. And I'll be honest, when I first moved in here 2 years ago, it took a lot of adjustment for me to get used to the quality of living. They don't traditionally have lounge chairs and much in the way of furniture. Plastic chairs seem to be the order of the day, and they don't have the room. They've literally got 1 bedroom with a bathroom or a little tiny toilet attached to it. So the house that we've done up is now looking quite nice. We've got 2 entrances. We've got a side entrance there and another one here by the lounge room.
And Chino, back
We've got our little security system. We've got a lovely little alleyway to live in. And we have some good security out the front. Now, it's not, crime isn't massive.
This one also.
Got a little puppy.
Come here, baby.
Today I've shown you living in a village. I've shown you the most basic of accommodations that you can get in downtown city in Denpasar, which is the biggest city in Bali. From here, I'm going to show you, some of my friends have small apartments or little studio apartments. You can get a place for about $4,000 a year or thereabouts with a swimming pool that's shared pool and some shared amenities and a nice little sort of studio apartment. But another mate of mine's pulled into one that's $2,500 a year. It's 2-story, but it's very basic. It's right in the middle of the party district, so it's handy for him, and we'll talk about that in tomorrow's episode. But in the meanwhile, I was a bit sweaty after that walk. I'm going to go and set the spa up and jump in there, because I'm going to get people that wanted to tell me about where they've stayed and what they've done. I'm trying to show you how you can live in Bali long term and what it costs and what the extremes are. And there's every variation from the dirt cheap to incredibly opulent. For some people, just coming over here and living downsizing and decluttering is exactly what they're after. They don't want the hustle and bustle, they don't want the craziness, they don't need the fancy stuff. Most people in Bali don't have, a lot of people in Bali don't have a fridge. A lot of people don't have televisions, washing machines. Almost no one's got a microwave. They're almost unheard of. In fact, most of the little villas and these, certainly the little boarding houses, have a very small power supply, which might be big enough for a television and a rice cooker and a couple of lights, but not much more than that. We had to get ours upgraded to put air conditioning on. So there are some nice places. There are some very, very cheap and humble places. And it doesn't have to cost a lot to stay here, to eat here and whatnot. But you do sort of need some creature comforts. And I'm not talking about the requirements for a visa. I'm simply talking about what the options are available, because the visa requirements and the requirement to keep housekeeping and all that sort of stuff depend on the type of visa. So we'll go and get into that later on, so you have to keep watching what we're doing. Again, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you can follow what we're doing next. We're going to go looking through some other villas and give you a bit of an idea of price comparisons and just what it's like, the around surrounding environment and the lifestyle, the daily routine and things like that. So I hope you've enjoyed a little tour today of our little village by the river, and I'll see you when you get here. Bye.